Today, we're diving into a really incredible story. We've pieced this together from a massive trove of personal notes, complex legal filings, and even lines of code. And what emerges is this raw, deeply personal look at one person's fight against a powerful state system and how she decided to use technology to build her very own weapon for justice.
So right off the bat, we have this quote pulled directly from her personal writings. It really sets the stage. And what it's telling us, right, is that the real story isn't just in what's said out loud or what's in the official records. It's in the unspoken things, the pain and the pressure simmering just beneath the surface. It's asking us to look deeper. Okay, so this whole conflict, it kicks off with a mother who finds herself locked in this just painful, long, drawn-out legal battle with a state institution, all while fighting for her kids. Now, to really get the scale of this fight, you have to understand this one key legal idea, parens patria. And this comes straight from the case documents. It's a doctrine that basically gives the state the power to step in and act as a parent, giving it ultimate authority. So you can see, right? This is the massive, almost absolute power she felt like she was up against. And when you look at the allegations in her legal filings, they are so specific. I mean, we're not talking about vague feelings here. This is a laundry list of moments where she felt her role as a parent was just completely steamrolled. She alleges that the Department of Children and Family Services, DCFS, was constantly shutting down requests for therapy, keeping her out of medical decisions, and even withholding access to her child's records.
And then there's what she describes as a deeply frustrating double standard. So you've got her on one side, right? Her history, which includes CPTSD from her own childhood trauma in the court system, is put under this intense microscope. But then on the other side, the documents allege that the other party had this much more severe history, and it was met with, well, basically minimal consequence. And that feeling of imbalance, that's really at the heart of her sense of injustice.
So what do you do when you feel like you're up against a broken, biased system you can't possibly win against? Well, she turned to a world she could control, the world of code. She decided she was going to build her own countermeasure, and this was her answer. You know, she didn't just whip up a simple script. No, she created a full-blown AI legal assistant under this new company, Multiverse Inc. It was literally built as a technological answer to a human system that she felt had totally failed her.
And get this isn't just some glorified search engine. When you look at its core directives, which we found right in the source code, they are wildly ambitious. The goal wasn't just to, file documents away. It was to build a bastion of jurisprudence. I mean, think about that phrase. An AI that could think in legal terms, understand ethics, and, this is key, trace every single claim back to a specific piece of evidence.
And this AI, it wasn't just some pie-in-the-sky project for the future. Nope. The second it was ready, she put it to work on the very case that sparked its existence. And you can see this raw, unfiltered moment in the AI's activity logs. The prompt she types in is so simple, so human, it's almost heartbreaking. How serious are the rights of DCFS violated? She's literally asking her own creation to make sense of her nightmare. And the AI's response, it wasn't a long report. It was just a number. 28. After chewing through all the case files she'd fed it, the system came back and said, I've found 28 distinct, provable violations of your right. And when you look at how that number breaks down, it tells a bigger story. See, the AI didn't just point a finger at DCFS, though it did flag them for 17 alleged violations. It also pointed to potential issues with her own legal team and even the court system itself. It was analyzing the entire machine.
And this one line of code from the AI script, it's just so revealing. It shows you that the system isn't just sitting there waiting. It's programmed to act, to run this specific analysis, and even talk to other AIs to check its work. This is an active digital warrior she built.
But here's the thing. This project was never just about her case. The documents show a much, much bigger vision, a whole new technological way of finding truth, not just in the law, but in any complex, messy system.
The crown jewel of this vision is something called the LOT engine. That stands for Locating Order in Time. And the whole idea behind it, according to the plan, is to dig through these huge, chaotic messes of data and find the hidden connections, the signal in the chaos that a person would almost certainly miss.
And just to show this wasn't some daydream, the project docs actually lay out a forecast of the LOT engine's potential if it were used on something like global data centers. And the numbers are just staggering. We're talking billions in savings on infrastructure, up to $120 million a year on energy. This shows you the sheer scale of her ambition.
Which really brings us to the core question of this whole story, doesn't it? Can an algorithm, a piece of code designed to find patterns in chaos, actually succeed in finding justice where a very human system seems to have failed?
But for all this talk about code and data and AI, we have to come back to the human cost. Because the documents, they paint a really harrowing picture of what this all took out of her.
I mean, listen to this. This is a direct quote from an email she sent to her lawyer. It's just this completely raw, unfiltered cry for help. It shows you that the battle wasn't just taking place in court or in her code, it was raging inside her.
And it wasn't just her. The trauma was spreading. In her notes, she writes about her oldest child telling her to be careful, not to trust the system. Her kids regretting the choices the court let them make. You see, the damage was echoing through the whole family. But then, buried in all of the legal documents and code, you find these moments of just profound personal reflection. This quote she saved in her notes, it kind of suggests a pivot in her own mind, redefining strength not as just holding on to pain, but as finding the power to let it go. And maybe that's what this was all about. Maybe building this AI wasn't just a way to fight back, but a way to process that pain, a way to finally take back some control.
And so, at the end of it all, we're left with this question. Is this story a glimpse of the future of justice, where AI can actually level the playing field for one person against a huge system? Or is it more of a cautionary tale, a tragic story of what happens when a system becomes so overwhelming that it pushes someone to the absolute brink just so they can fight back? The answer, just like the documents this all came from, is incredibly complex.